Good day, this is Roniel Garcia, and today I'm with my group mates, Lady Antabiolo, Kim Pauline Tinawin, Josabel Kapingian, Macho Donuan, and CJ Maglalang. So last time ang pinag-usapan natin is about the hydrogen power plant. So today ang pag-uusapan naman natin is about solar thermal systems, also called as CSP. So next tayo. So, solar thermal systems. Ito, ganito lahat mag-operate yung solar thermal systems, no? Yan, kukolekta siya ng energy coming from the sun using mirror. Yun yung kaibahan niya sa photovoltaic system. So, in photovoltaic system kasi, ginagamit na pangkolekta ng enerhiya galing sa araw ay solar panel. Ngayon, dito sa solar thermal system, the instrument being used to collect energy from the sun is mirror. And then afterwards, that energy is being reflected to a tube. Ngayon, yung tube na yun, merong fluid sa loob yun. Ang mangyayari ngayon, yung fluid ay makaka-receive ng very high temperature around 400 to 700 degrees centigrade. Yan yung init na meron sa fluid, ipapasa niya ngayon sa tubig yon. So, after pasa sa fluid, yung init papunta sa tubig, mag-evaporate yung tubig at magiging steam. And that steam will make the turbine rotates, thereby generating electricity. So, that is how solar thermal system works. So, there are 4 types of solar thermal systems. Ito nga yung parabolic trough, solar tower, linear Fresnel reflector, and parabolic dish. So, lahat naman ng to, nag-ooperate sila under the same principle. Nagkakaiba lang sila with the manner of collecting sunlight. And to further understand these 4 types, let's proceed to parabolic trough.
Parabolic trough. Heat transfers fluids in general description. In a solar thermal system, heat transfers fluid or HTF is a liquid or gas specifically manufactured for the purpose of transmitting heat from one system to another. So, inside this tube is a heat transfer fluid o HTF. So, ulit, kukolekta ng energy yung ating mga mirrors, i-reflect niya ngayon yung sa mga tube. Ngayon, mayroong laman yung tube. Ang tawag doon ay heat transfer fluid o HTF. May initan yun. Yung mainit na heat transfer fluid, ipapasa niya yung init sa tubig. Alam naman natin na that the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees Celsius. And under this parabolic trough, the heat transfer fluid can reach up to 400 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius lang ang boiling point ng water. Konting temperature na lang, mag-evaporate na siya. And it will turn to a pressurized and superheated steam. So, ganun yung mangyayari dito sa system natin. Now, question. Why use HTF instead of the direct system in which water is instantly turned into steam by heat reflected by mirrors in solar thermal system or CSP or concentrating solar power? Kung tatanungin ko kayo, pwede bang gamitin yung tubig as a heat transfer fluid or pwede ba na direct system na lang yung gamitin natin? We have in water is being turned into a steam directly. The answer is yes. Pwede. Kung pwede naman pala yung ganun, bakit gumagamit pa ng HTF o heat transfer fluid? Here is the main answer. These working fluids have high heat capacity. It can maintain a high level of hotness in a long period of time. So, kaya niyang mag-maintain ng hotness for long period of time. That is why, in concentrating solar power o CSP, a large volume of HTP is heated to an elevated temp during daytime where sunlight intensity is at its peak. Ganun pala ang operation sa mga power plant. Yung mga high volume ng heat transfer fluid, papainitin na yan during daytime. Kung saan matindi ang sikat ng araw. Ngayon, it is being stored in a tight vessel. Ililipat siya sa isang tight vessel o para mas maintindihan natin. Halimbawa natin sa bahay natin, di ba nagpapakulo tayo ng tubig tapos yung pinakulo nating tubig ilalagay natin sa thermos for the future purposes. Para after ilang oras, mainit pa rin. So ganun yung exact na ginagawa sa HTF. Bakit? Kasi it acts as a reserve power that can be used during cloudy days. Sun's intensity is at its lowest or during nighttime where there is totally no presence of sunlight. Kasi nga, at daytime, it collects energy from the sun. Paano pag gabi na? Di useless na yung planta na yan. So let's proceed to another diagram. Ang kaibahan nito, we have hot salt tank and we have here a cold salt tank. And there are lots of different variety of salt. Kasi yung molten salt ay isang klase yan ng transfer fluid na ginagamit within the solar thermal system. So ngayon, bakit ba may tangke dyan? O ganito yon. So ganito yon. Magta-travel yung heat transfer fluid sa yellow na line papunta sa mga tube. Tapos yung large volume niyan, papainitin na, tapos pupunta sa heat exchanger set. Yung iba naman, nagpupunta sa tight vessel. Dito sa tight vessel, ipini-preserve yung heat niya para kapag gabi, yung naiipon na heat transfer fluid, siya na yung ipapump sa buong system. O di kahit gabi, meron pa ring mainit na fluid na magsi-circulate. Ngayon, yung direct system, pwede namang gamitin yon. Ang kaso lang, kapag maulap, kapag gabi na, hindi nagagana yung power plant. Kasi wala kang reserve that comes from the heat transfer fluid. Okay, so we have different type of HTF or the heat transfer fluids used in CSP technologies includes air, water. Kung saan mapapansin nyo, yung air and water is being colored by sky blue. Simply because nowadays design do not use air and water as a heat transfer fluid. Kasi kapag ginamit ang air at water as HTF or sa direct system, walang reserve power kapag maulap o kapag gabi. Walang gagamitin reserve heat that could circulate the power plant. Nowadays, these are type of heat transfer fluid being used. Pwedeng molten salt, pwedeng glycol base, pwedeng glycerol base, or pwede rin synthetic oils. So ano nga ba ang pinaka-the best na heat transfer fluid sa mga yan? Walang definite na sagot doon, kasi depende sa sitwasyon ng power plant. So let's talk about the following characteristics are being used consider on what type of HTF is to be used in a solar thermal power plant. First is operating temperature, for example, kasi may limit degree Celsius yung kaya niyang i-handle. Second is life cycle, halimbawa after a year magpapalit na naman, so ibig sabihin magastos. Heat transfer capability, ibig sabihin yan yung kakayahan niya na mag-transfer ng init papunta sa tubig. Heat storage aspect, overall safety, isa rin to sa kinoconsider kasi meron type ng HTF na kapag exposed sa area, it will react, so dapat dinidrain siya in a concealed manner, or pwede rin naman na may mga HTF na a bit harmful sa environment as well as to human. Siyempre, isa sa kinoconsider is the cost. Note, the use of molten salt in parabolic trough system can heat the heat transfer fluid or HTF to 550 degrees Celsius has a better performance than a synthetic oil which heat the HTF to only 400 degrees Celsius or less. Ayon sa Yuasa et al. 2017.
A solar tower, also known as a solar power tower or a solar thermal power tower, is a type of solar power plant that uses concentrated solar power or CSP technology to generate electricity. It consists of a field of large mirrors called heliostats, which track the movement of the sun and reflects sunlight onto the receiver mounted at the top of a tall tower. Now, here's how a solar tower typically works. First is the heliostat field. The heliostat field or the solar tower features a field of thousands of heliostats, which are large flat mirrors that tracks the sun's movement across the sky. These heliostats are arranged in a circular or semicircular pattern around the tower. Next is the sunlight reflection. The heliostats reflect and concentrate sunlight onto the receiver mounted at the top of the tall tower. By precisely angling the mirrors, the concentrated sunlight can achieve high temperatures at the receiver. Now then, the receiver, usually located at the top of the tower, is exposed to concentrated sunlight. It contains heat-absorbing materials such as heat transfer fluid like molten salt or gas, which absorbs the concentrated solar energy and heats up significantly. Now, to the heat transfer. The heat absorbed by the receiver is transferred to a heat transfer fluid circulating within the receiver. This fluid is then used to generate steam, which drives a turbine connected to a generator to produce electricity. Alternatively, in some designs, the receiver may heat up a gas directly, which is then used to generate electricity. Now, the electricity generation. The steam or the heated gas produced by the receiver is used to drive the turbine, which in turn drives a generator to produce electricity. The electricity generated is then sent to the grid for distribution to customers. Now, solar tower offers several advantages over the forms of solar power generation, including the ability to generate electricity even when the sun is not shining by using thermal energy storage systems. Additionally, They have a potential to achieve higher temperature and therefore higher efficiencies compared to the other CSP technologies like parabolic trough systems or dish stirling systems. However, they require a significant land area and investment due to the large number of heliostats and a tall tower infrastructure.
So, punta naman po tayo sa linear Fresnel reflector. So, dito po ay flat yung mirror kumpara sa parabolic na curve yung mirror. And dito naman ay fix yung receiver kagaya ng sa solar tower. Pero dito hindi siya tower. Hindi siya tower pero nasa taas din yung receiver niya. So, dito sa picture na to makikita nyo yung heat na galing sa araw ay magre-reflect sa mirror, then tatama sa tube. Pag hindi naman tumama sa tube, ay meron naman tong secondary mirror kung saan magbabounce pa rin papunta sa tube. And next naman, ito ay isang example pa ng kung paano ba gumagana ito. Makita natin tama dito. Galing sa araw yung heat, then babounce up, then tatama sa receiver. And next naman, ito yung itsura ng linear Fresnel sa tunay na buhay. And next naman, linear Fresnel reflector. Ang advantage dito ay ang flat mirror kasi ay mas mura kumpara sa mga curved mirror. Kaya less expensive ito. And ang disadvantage naman nito ay sa design nito na flat, medyo halos dikit-dikit na ang mga salamin, kaya minsan may matatakpan na isang salamin. Hindi may utilize yung power na to kasi may mga matatakpan. Next naman ay hindi ito nagpo-produce ng enough temperature or heat na kagaya ng sa parabolic or sa solar tower. Ito ay mas less efficient kumpara sa kanila. Meron namang ibang design kagaya nitong compact linear Fresnel reflector. Makikita nyo sa picture na to, dalawa na yung receiver. At sa mirror, meron itong mga sensor at sila yung magde-decide kung saang receiver itatama nila yung energy. Dito ay mas improve yung design at much more efficient ito kumpara sa other design na ito, yung isa lang yung yung receiver. And next naman is ito yung working principle ng kung paano nagpa-function ito. Yung parang yung kumbaga yung na mismo linear Fresnel na sa mga planta. So parang kagaya lang din ng sa ibang mga type ng solar thermal system. Ang pinagkaibahan lang talaga is linear nga siya, isang flat mirror ang ginagamit. Pero same principle pa rin siya kagaya sa ibang type.
Hello guys, ngayon ang topic natin is yung solar thermal systems pa rin. Type ng solar thermal system, yung parabolic dish. Parabolic dish. This consists of sets of flat mirrors combined to form a large parabolic dishes that is attached to a motor sensor which tracks the movement of the sun in dual axis. The collected energy from the sun is being concentrated to the PCU located at the focal point of the dish. The PCU consists mainly of thermal receiver and Stirling engine. The thermal receiver, which is a heat exchanger, transfer its heat to the Stirling engine, causing it to reciprocate. This reciprocating movement causing the rotation of an electric generator. These dishes can concentrate sunlight much better than parabolic troughs, and the fluid run through them can reach temperatures upward of 750 degrees Celsius. Because of the limitations of size and the small quantity of fluid, the parabolic dish collectors are suitable for small-scale power generation. Baling itong parabolic dish. Parang halos same lang siya sa mga naunang types natin ng solar thermal system. Ang kaibahan lang niya, hindi ito nagpo-produce ng steam or walang evaporation na nangyayari. Bale, ito yung, halimbawa, ito yung araw. Didiretso dito sa parabolic receiver. Nandito yung mga sets of mirrors natin. Tapos tatama siya dito sa PCU. PCU, nandito yung tinatawag natin na Stirling engine. Tsaka yung thermal receiver. Yung thermal receiver na pwede rin siyang tawaging heat exchanger na meron siyang HTF or yung tinatawag natin na heat transfer fluid. Tapos, pag na-receive na niya yung heat, bali i-reciprocate niya ito dun sa Stirling engine. Bali ito yung nagkukos ng rotation para sa electric generator. Stirling engine. Stirling engines can be hard to understand. Here are the key points. Every Stirling engine has a sealed cylinder with one part hot and the other cold. The working gas inside the engine, which is often air, helium, or hydrogen, is moved by a mechanism from the hot side to the cold side. When the gas is on the hot side, it expands and pushes up on a piston. When it moves back to the cold side, it contracts. Bali, ito yung itsura ng PCU.
So let's continue our discussion sa solar thermal power plant. The world's largest solar thermal power station. Ito ay matatagpuan to sa Morocco. Ang pangalan nito is Ouarzazate Solar Power Station na merong 510 megawatt capacity. Ang uri ng pagkolekta nila ng energy from the sun heat is yung parabolic trough and yung solar tower. Nagsimula ito noong 2018. Merong area na 2,500. And then next yung Ibanpa Solar Power Facility na merong 392 megawatt capacity na matatagpuan naman sa USA. Ang uri ng pagkolekta nila is yung solar tower. Meron itong 1,420 hectare na area and then start to noong 2018. Susunod naman yung Mojave Solar Project na merong 280 megawatt capacity na matatagpuan din sa USA. Parabolic trough naman ang gamit nila sa pag-collect ng heat energy. Naitayo ito noong 2014 na meron namang 714 hektarya. And then, Solana Generating Station na meron ding 280 megawatt capacity na matatagpuan din sa USA. Parabolic trough din ang gamit and year 2013 siya na-establish. And then, merong 780 hectare na area. And then, next yung Genesis Solar Energy Project na merong 280 megawatt capacity na sa USA din na matatagpuan. Parabolic trough din yung gamit niya. And then, from the year 2014 siya na-establish. And then, meron itong area na 1,920 hectare. And then, next yung Salaben Solar Power Station na merong 200 megawatt capacity na matatagpuan sa Spain. Parabolic trough din yung gamit niya. Started ito nung 2012. And then merong area na 301 hectare. Ito nga. Ouarzazate Solar Power Station na matatagpuan sa Morocco. Ito yung pinakamalaki by the year 2018 to 2020 na solar thermal power station. Itong Ouarzazate Solar Power Station or OSPS ay tinatawag din NOR Power Station. Ang gamit nilang HTF or heat transfer fluid ay yung molten salt. And then, nung unang phase nila is nakakapag-store sila ng for 3 hours. And then, nung third phase nila is nakakapag-store na sila ng pang 8 hours. And then, ang cover na area nito is meron siyang 2,500 hectare. And then, meron itong 7,400 huge mirrors. And then, yung solar tower nito is meron itong 250 meters yung taas ng tower. And then, nakakapag-produce to ng 510 megawatts and then Ang plano nila makapag-produce ng 582 megawatts and then meron silang approximately cost na 9 billion US dollar. Ayan. From the year 2022, ayan. Ang pinakamalaki na is yung Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Solar Park, Phase 4, na matatagpuan sa Dubai, UAE. Meron itong 44 square kilometers. Ang port phase nito is meron na tong 600 megawatt parabolic trough and then meron tong 100 megawatt concentrating solar power tower and then meron itong 63,600 parabolic trough collectors. Meron ding 70,000 mirrors para sa sa solar tower or yung tinatawag dito is yung heliostats. And then meron itong yung solar tower ay meron itong taas na 263 meter. Natalo na niya yung dun na sa Morocco na 250 meters yung height. And then ito din yung may pinakamalaking thermal energy storage na merong 5,907 megawatt hour. And then ang investment nila is yung 15.8 billion United Arab Emirates dirham. And then ang overall capacity nila is meron tong 5,000 megawatt by the year 2030. Ayan. Thank you for listening.